A big hello and a warm welcome to all of you amazing and beautiful people out there. Welcome to my channel. And in this collective reading, I'm going to be talking about the runner's regret that is seen in the case of masculine and feminine. Now, in case of divine feminine, it actually usually leads her to inner work and going within because feminines make a lot of efforts. Okay, they also make a lot of efforts, physical efforts, external efforts, doing this, doing that, and saying a lot of things, writing a lot of things, sending long paragraphs, trying to convince, trying to be likable, trying to please another person. I mean, they do a lot of things. And eventually they realize that none of this external effort is going to work, and I have to do something in my mind. I have to go within and change something over there, and then things start getting normal, or they actually start changing. So in this one, I'm going to be talking about the runner's regret from the masculine side, because if you are divine feminine, then definitely you have figured it out that there's no point running or there's no point chasing. But it could be possible that you saw it in the masculine first, because you saw the masculine constantly running and doing a lot of things to feel happy, to feel good, to feel flourished, or to feel that he is in control of his life and everything is great and he knows and blah blah blah. But you were not able to tell him or convince him, even though you could see it, even though you can see it, but you cannot make him not do it. So point is that he is gonna keep running, the masculine is gonna keep running till you keep chasing, till you keep trying to convince, till you don't live your life. Like, you have to really live your life, you have to really do whatever you love, and you have to be so ruthless about it, you have to be so fearless about it, because the masculine does the same. And it's not about settling scores, it's not about taking revenge, but it's like taking inspiration from another person. Like, they are doing everything for their happiness using the masculine logic. He is trying to do everything for his happiness, but he is doing it by running externally how the feminine was doing it before, or even in the time frame that we're talking. For some people it could be happening in the here and now, that they could still be chasing someone constantly, and they are seeing the other person is showing them opposite polarity and they're running away from them. So for both masculine and feminine, there is a regret they feel. This regret is what is mirrored. Okay, there is a certain kind of guilt that a lot of people in the inner work journey feel. Guilt of their own existence, guilt of what they do. I mean, what I did yesterday, you're gonna be, what you did yesterday, you're gonna be thinking about it. Why did I do this? Why did I do that? I shouldn't have done this. Next morning, people who don't suffer from this problem usually live a happier life, because they don't sit and brood over, okay, this happened or that happened and I made a mistake. They are like, okay, I made a mistake, so I made a mistake, and it's okay. Now we need to see this in our own selves also. Let's say someone else has made a mistake and you did not make a mistake, someone else made a mistake, and now you have to face it, because that mistake hurts you and you have connected it with you and your existence and how much the person loves you and how should they have been to you, that they are not being the ideal person for you. And so their mistake is causing a heavy burden on you, while actually it should not. It should just simply teach you stuff. Okay, now I'm going to go to that later on, how to deal with such things, but how this process actually works. Okay, and this is actually happening everywhere. So the runner learns by running, and there is a point where it cannot run anymore. The runner cannot run anymore. They are done with all the running. Okay, and so this is the time they start thinking that why, I mean, there's no answer for this, whatever they're experiencing, why they're running, why they're seeking for joy, pleasure, or just normal life. You know how an addict is trying to consume something just to feel normal, isn't it? Isn't it like that? Technically speaking, people have lots and lots of addictions, but we only call those things addictions which are either not in the legal format, like simple things that we see in the kitchen every day, coffee and tea. These are highly addictive substances, but they are not illegal. So you are not really affected by drinking too much tea or drinking too much coffee. And a lot of people normalize it as well. Like, I know a friend of mine, she has to drink tea even after dinner. Before sleeping, also, she has to have a cup of tea. After waking up, definitely everyone wants a cup of tea. And I know these things I observe a bit more because somehow I'm repulsed by tea since I was a kid, since I was very young. So I remember I just can't have tea. And I have not had tea since I was 6 or 7 years old. Before that, because everybody was drinking tea, so I was also drinking tea. And one fine day, I just realized that I don't want to drink tea anymore, and I never had tea after that. Same for cold drinks, same for cola. Uh, with coffee, yes, I've had an on and off thing. But there are so many other things people do which are highly addictive, and running is one of those things. And I'm not talking about physical running, I'm talking about running away and trying to get distracted so that the pain feels less, or you just make peace with it because you're distracted. But then it comes to haunt a person again. Okay. Now, from the twin flame perspective, people surrender when they find out that they love a certain person. And I don't know how it gets triggered for different people have told me different stories, but somehow either people figure out that this is the best place to be in life because they don't understand so much deep knowledge, but they say to themselves that this is where I am the safest with this person knows me, this person understands me, and yes, this person has given me fear, but, or fear of heartbreak or fear of this or fear of that, but I have to be with this person and no one else. So some people surrender because of that. Some runners, masculine especially, surrender when they figure out that they only want their twin flame or their DF and no one else, and they are done, they're tired. Now, how much time it takes for a person to figure it out, we don't know. For someone, it can be 6 months, and someone, it can be 6 years. Okay. This is actually a runner's account that I'm talking about. Someone told me that after dating for like 4 years elsewhere and trying everything out, they said to me that, I realized that I only love this one person and no one else, and I want this person only. The interesting part is that after 4 years, when they realize that they want this person only, that person is no longer available. This is their level of frustration. So now the runner has to do inner work. The runner has to go within and figure out why this separation is hurting so much, because for 4 years it did not hurt so much, they did not care so much about this person, or even if they did, they were like, oh, it's better to stay away because there's a strange kind of pain or fear I feel with this person. Finally, when they're heartbroken too many times or they have bad experiences elsewhere and they kind of have some realizations or epiphanies, or they make comparisons, they see some happy couples, they see their banters, and it feels like, okay, I had a happy person or a happy relationship too, but I did not see it like that. So now what to do? So a lot of runners then enter into the inner work space. For some people, the acceptance of love is so difficult. I'll tell you, it's not only happening with singles or those in relationships, it is happening with people who are married and they have kids. Because this is my job. I work with different kinds of people, and when I make them understand that what you're actually running away from is love, you are repressing it and you are creating a resistance, and you're not able to forgive. Let's say it's very difficult to forgive someone. They've done something really wrong and it's really hurt you. These collective readings and channelings are basically designed to help people find that their joy is actually within them, find out that their joy is within them. And love is a beautiful, blissful experience. And I know that it's not, for a lot of people, this is a statement which is not very practical. Like, how do I experience this type of love, where I'm so happy, so joyous, I don't need anybody? Well, there are actually very simple tricks to it, but the only thing that people lack is they don't want to practice. Even in therapy, some people are in a hurry that, help me out in 3 months or help me out in 6 months. But a therapist is not a god. A therapist or a healer, they can, if they're good people, they're good ones, good with their job, they will obviously take you to a better place. They will help you shift. You're not going to be the same miserable person with the same miserable problem that you went in first. The situation will change. Definitely, that is a mark of a good therapist, that how you were, the condition you were in when you joined therapy, are you still in that condition? They will help you realize, that it's you who has to make the shift, and you can make the shift. It is possible, but practice makes a man perfect. So you need to practice, and for practice you need to give yourself time, or you need to put that effort, or you need to have faith in the universe also, that universe has your back, and universe will provide for your healing, for your inner work, for your luxuries in life. This applies to everyone who's in inner work journey, because mostly I've seen people who are struggling with one thing are struggling with other things also, and when they fix one thing, they are able to fix other things as well. So there's one thing that you need to fix is, first of all, you have to go within, okay, and you have to figure out a way. You have to figure out a way or different techniques you can use, just not one. Like, I am very thankful to universe for one reason. A lot of you would agree to this, that there are times when you are very easygoing, when you can forgive very easily, when you don't care. Even if you know about the worst thing a partner can do to you, even if you get to know that, you'll still be like, I don't care about it. You can go and live your life and I'll live my life. That's the attitude you have. But then some days you're just not like that. You're angry, you're upset, you're mad, you are full of doubt, you're not able to forgive that person. This person is a liar, this person is this, that. So there are days when you feel that someone is human, and there are days when you don't feel like that. So I basically figured out that most people, and of course I experimented this on myself first, and then I started seeing it in others as well, and most people, we all forget, we are in this beautiful state, we are full of love, we are happy, we are carefree, we don't want drama in life, we just want to be happy, we want to live the whole day being surrendered, having faith. But then uh, something triggering happens, and then you forget all of this, and then you go into a shadow self. Some people call it shadow self or your old self, because your old self is programmed to suffer, to live in suffering, to not have faith, to have doubts, to be in disbelief, or just feel that you're unlucky, unloved, and something wrong has happened to you, you're betrayed, and your past is going to create your future, and you're not in the present moment. When we are not in the present moment, when we are not in the here and now, we'll not feel okay. Things will not feel good. Things will not feel all right. So the practice is to keep coming back to the present moment, to keep bringing back that higher self, which is very calm, very relaxed, which is not scared. Because those who are scared, those who are not relaxed, those who have a lot of fears, they will have doubts for sure. They will have doubts, They will not trust anyone. They'll think about all the past events and situations where they were betrayed or they didn't trust. But we all should know that this feeling of betrayal or lack of trust comes from within us, and we need to tell ourselves, or we need to figure out that it is okay. It is okay to be where we are. It's okay. This is a day or this is a certain time frame. And the reason why I was saying that I'm thankful to God is because the more I started thinking about this forgetting and remembering concept, I actually started meeting people magically, okay? And it could be anyone. It could be a cab driver, it could be a shopkeeper, it could be a neighbor, it could be just, I don't know, a video, it could be a person, just randomly, addressing other people, but you are the one who capture a statement. Like, it's actually magical. It's usually a mystical experience every time I see this happen. When you are practicing daily, when you're learning to have faith and surrender to source, when you say, I'm okay with whatever is happening. Now, some people are going to put God into it, but I know there are certain stoic characters who not even say God. They'll say, like, I like to say God. I like to believe that there's a God, there's a supernatural power, there's a divine energy. My master, especially because I have met my master, I had the great fortune of meeting my master and spending so many years under him. So I feel that yes, my masters are taking care of me, and it really protects me at that point in time from all of these negative things. But we all forget. So while practicing, when you are really focused, you will either meet a very good healer or you will find a great book. Something will shift. I'm just giving examples, okay? Whatever is coming to my mind. Or as I said, even a normal random person on the street you'll bump into will give you the best advice, and that is to remember who you are and surrender to divine. Once a cab driver told me, in fact, that I never forget that my masters are taking care of me, and no matter what happens to me, I always take it light, I always take it easy, and I just accept it. That if this is what God wants me to go through, if this is what my masters want me to go through, then I will accept it happily, because I have so much faith in my masters that I know that whatever has happened, whatever technically is hurtful, has to be in my favor, and it is going to bring only good for me. There is nothing wrong, there's nothing bad, everything is good because my masters are taking care of me. And one more thing that happens inside of us is, so till we don't accept, that feeling really bothers us, okay? It really tortures us. It really makes us feel low. It really makes us feel heartbroken. All sorts of shitty things you feel inside your heart. The heart is so heavy, okay? But the moment you let go, because it's not in your control, either it's already happened, it's in the past, it's done. What can you do about it? It's already gone. The only thing you can fear at that point is that, okay, it might repeat, and that is a fear. And so then again, you start thinking about it in another way, and then it will put you in trouble. So if you say, okay, I accept whatever my masters put me through, or my Lord God Almighty put me through, I'm happy with it, I'm okay with it, I accept it. No, it's hurting me, I accept that also, it's hurting me, but I have faith, I have belief that it will be fine. It will be in my favor, it will benefit me, it will teach me something, it will take me to bliss. Or you just don't doubt it, you just accept it, and you happily accept it and move on with it. Then there is a shift. Energetically, you shift. And I'm not expecting you to do it there and then. It will take time, it takes practice, it takes effort, and you have to keep reminding yourself. You have to be the self regulatory body to do it. So, this is where the part one of this collective reading is going to close. I will see you in the next one. For personal sessions and for readings, for therapies, check out the description box. It also has the link to my book, In the Name of Love, A Journey of Finding Your Ultimate Soulmate, a very high vibrational book. I will see you in the next one. One love, peace out, and victory to Ram.